Oke, baik teman-teman semua, ini edisi perdana dari interview Miller's Records, dan karena ini edisi pertama kita juga punya tamu yang sangat khusus, yang tiba-tiba dia mau merilis vinilnya lewat Miller's Records. So this is the first time ever we do this kind of interview, and being the first time, we have a very special guest. And without further on, let me introduce you with Sandrayati or Sandrayati.
Halo. Ya, terima kasih. Thank you. Ya, aku senang.
How's everything?
Good. Yeah, I'm coming to you from Iceland, dari Islandia.
Oh, dari Islandia?
Yeah.
How's the weather right now?
It's rainy and cold and cloudy, but the sun is here, so that's okay. Yeah, through the clouds. Biasa sih untuk mendung di sini.
Udah terbiasa. So it's a big difference when you decided to live in Iceland, and coming from Bali, it's a huge difference in cuaca.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Very different in so many ways. Different bahasa, different language, different energy in the land. Tapi ada yang satu yang one similarity is that we have volcanoes in both lands.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're volcano lands. Yeah, active ones. So that's, I think, something very interesting about similar islands across the world from each other.
Oh, yeah. So what have been up to lately with you?
I just got back from tour, actually. So I just got back off. It was 2 rounds of tours. I was a support act for Nick Mulvey, who had sold out shows through Europe and the UK.
Oh.
So I was the support act for him for both of these legs, so the European tour and the UK tour. And it was so fun, really good experience. And then I also did my first headline show in London in the last week, actually, for the album release. I did one show in London that was a Sandrayati show pertama kali.
Wow,
in this
congratulations.
Church, and it was sold out as well. I was so grateful. Banyak teman-teman di sana, juga ada keluargaku yang datang. It was so fun. A really good experience, and it was a release concert for my new album, Safe Ground.
So speaking about family, many of us here in Indonesia asking about, who is Sandrayati, and if you don't mind sharing with us about your, getting to know about yourself, your background story, your, your upbringing.
Yeah, I was born and raised in Indonesia. Lahir di Jakarta, sebenarnya anak kota. Tapi besar di Bali dan Jakarta. But my mother is Filipino, and my father is American, and he moved to the Philippines when he was in his mid-20s and lived there for a long time. And my mother there, they work on indigenous land rights and environmental protection work, which was really active in the Philippines at the time, and the 80s and the 90s. And they moved to Indonesia to continue this work, both my parents. They moved to do forestry. The forest in Indonesia and the indigenous communities is so diverse and so many in Indonesia. And their rights was actually quite behind in Southeast Asia compared to a lot of other places. And so it was really important at the time for them to have people from different parts of the world come to Indonesia to help kind of figure out how to solidify this in the legal systems of Indonesia. So my parents came to Indonesia for this work.
Wow, that's very interesting. I mean, both of them are not particularly Indonesian, but they care so much about our land,
Yeah, and the protection of indigenous communities is an important thing all over the world, and they had that understanding. They weren't planning to stay long, but then I was born there. My 2 sisters were born there, and I used to say to people when people ask me, "Oh, dari mana kamu?" And I would always say, "Oh, my mom's Filipino, my dad's American, but I'm Indonesian." I would always say that, and everybody laughed at me, ketawain, seperti aduh, apaan ini anak bule ini bilang dia dari sini, gitu. But I really felt it, and actually till this day, I feel Indonesia is my home. And I feel very connected to the land there and the people there, and a lot of family and friends still there. So, yeah, dari saya selalu pulang. I try to come home every month, every year. So, yeah.
That's great to know. I mean, even your name Sandrayati is, it sounds so Indonesian.
It is. It is.
It's not very uncommon, but it sounds so Indonesian.
Yeah, I'm named after an Indonesian woman. So I'm named after my mom's best friend, who's Indonesian.
Okay.
And yeah, for me, a place that helps you grow, and from these early childhood years, and the land and the mountains and Indonesia and the communities and people, like that's what really, I don't know, it spoke to me so deeply in my spirit, and I'm really home there.
So continue on with your music journey. When did it start for you? I mean, is it basic like the story that your parents put a lot of songs and then it influenced you, or you become friend who plays guitars, and then what's the story for you?
I think I like to say that it started when my mother used to sing to me in the womb when I was dalam rahim.
Yeah.
It's Filipina, so in the Philippines, singing is a big part of the culture. And my dad is also a songwriter, actually. They play a lot of protest music, folk songs, protest music, their activist backgrounds. So I grew up with a lot of that. And I started playing guitar when I was quite young. My dad was teaching me just basic chords, and I just always loved to play and to sing, really, and never really thought about doing it for my career. And that only started more recently, kind of seeing it that way and thinking, okay, I want to share more and write more and create a life out of it and with it. Yeah.
So who are your influences? I mean, when you're young, you kind of listen to this much, and then when you grow older, you go with this artist. Can you share with us?
Yeah, you know what, I really feel the most honest way to answer this question is the people who have influenced me the most are the people who are directly in my life. I'm that kind of learner. Like, I've had so many incredible musician friends growing up, and amazing collaborations with people. And like my music career really kind of started with a collaboration with friends in Bali, No Stress, anak-anak No Stress.
Shout out to No Stress.
Yeah, shout out to our No Stress friends in Bali. So I'm really influenced by my community and my friends around. I have amazing friends here in Iceland too, who are making some incredible music. But of course, when we talk about, the bigger picture of greater influences, I listened to a lot of the Cranberries growing up, like loved them. I had quite an array. I was listening to also like Eminem and Pink and and just like crazy array of things. I love jazz as well. I went to a music school that focused a lot on jazz in the US. And yeah, the songwriters that have inspired me a lot go really from a lot of folk roots, like Joni Mitchell and Joan Baez and Bob Dylan, and even like Jeff Buckley was a big influence for me. And yeah, but it all really comes down to these everyday experiences, and when I've been lucky enough to have so many talented people around in my life. So I don't know. Yeah, it's a big part of it.
Okay. speaking about No Stress, you previously worked with Indonesian artists, and a lot of releases from that projects also, and from No Stress, and you did project with Danila and Rara, and then finally you featured in one of Iwan Fals song, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So yeah, how you manage those kind of projects? Providing yourself with your personal songs, solo songs, and then collaborating with other artists.
Yeah, that is really kind of related to what I was saying earlier with these are the people who inspired me so much and who have influenced me a lot, because they've also supported my music a lot, and because my music career really started in Indonesia with these connections, and I'm so grateful for that, because sebenarnya saya bukan orang yang percaya diri, terlalu percaya diri di awal-awalnya beneran.
Oh gitu
Yeah,
ya?
I had a lot of confidence issues when I was younger, especially in the music world, and to be honest, working with Rara and Danila and the Darah Muda project really helped me solidify a lot of what is it that I really want to share with the world, and how does it feel to do that, and what does it mean to have a team around you? They showed me a lot of that. I mean, we had a complicated beginning, but it ended up being a really, really influential project for me, Darah Muda. And the Iwan Fals connection also was quite a magical experience. He was just such a legend, and his team and community around him are really, really incredible people. And these are the kind of musicians who are really open to really writing about what they're seeing and experiencing in the world in such an authentic and honest way. I feel like that's something that I long to do in my work, and I tend to people who are doing that in their lives. I'm so lucky to have been connected to them, so that I have an inspiration and connection, and they're long-term relationships, right? So that's such an important part of my journey, is creating and connecting these relationships and keeping them strong, I hope.
Yeah, that's good to know. And I see in your background you have a lot of guitars. One of them is a kecapi, and
yeah,
look at that.
Yeah, it was gifted to me by the mayor of a place in Lampung, Tubaba.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, did you try using that on your records? One of your songs?
It is on my record.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
my record, on a song called Segala Baru.
Segala Baru, okay.
So if you listen to Segala Baru, that was written on the kecapi.
Okay.
Tapi saya masih amateur ya, nggak main kecapi. I'm playing it like a guitar a little bit, but I love it.
Yeah, I mean, you should not more practice time, but eventually you will master it.
I hope so. I have to find a teacher. Shout out to any kecapi teachers out there. Kalau ada yang bisa ngajar, I'm gonna come to you.
Yeah. So now we're gonna talk about your new album, which I got right here.
No way! Beautiful. Thank you.
Your first ever, your first ever final, and it's titled Safe Ground.
Yes.
It's consisting of how many songs?
10 songs.
10 songs. A few old ones, yeah?
Yeah, a few older ones.
So, care to share a story about your baby right here?
Yeah, of course. Mama wants to talk. Safe Ground, I recorded here in Iceland
Mm-hmm.
at the start of the pandemic, like during the pandemic. And it was a really strange time, of course, for all of us. Dan sebenarnya saya rencananya nggak terlalu lama di Islandia waktu itu. I would just stay there for a little while and come back to Indonesia. But, the pandemic kept me in Iceland, and I was going through a big identity, maybe I can say crisis, krisis identitas. And there was so many parts of me, I felt like I was building my foundation, my work life, my foundation in Indonesia. And suddenly I was gone from Indonesia. I was gone from all the things that I felt made me who I was, or I thought.
So what was your decision moving into Iceland the first time?
Well, it wasn't, I had a partner who was based there.
Okay.
And I wanted to record this album there. I felt that call too. So it felt right to do that. But it was really a process of letting go of identity in a way. That's why I love this photograph, where it's just like, pakai makeup, no makeup, no anything. This very, hair up, everything just as stripped down. I felt that I could be in that moment. Also. Yeah, Lilia Birkisdottir, she's an amazing photographer, and she helped capture this. She was wonderful. And that felt really right to me, really raw, to share that, okay, whatever this is, this album is just like focused with the voice and the storytelling, and all the instruments kind of help carry the voice in a way that I've always longed to hear. Like, I love the sound of this record. And it felt like the title didn't come until later, but when I was starting to listen to the songs again and re-feeling what that moment was like in time, I felt that Safe Ground really encapsulated the feeling that I was having to create for myself there. Seperti ruangan yang aman. That's the translation, like a place of like real peace and safety. And it's crazy that these feelings in the world that we live in today aren't always easy to tune into, right? Like to feel really truly safe in your body and your spirit and your mind, and how much I longed for that. I longed to create, and I was creating that for myself when I was recording. Di proses rekaman itu beneran aku beneran harus fokus dengan gimana caranya untuk to create this space of safety, and to feel connected to the place juga, untuk ada hubungan spesifik dengan tempat. And I was so new to the place that I was in, and in this process I was creating a lot of medicine from the plants.
Oh yeah.
I was connecting to the flowers and the plants in Iceland, and I was creating little tinctures and things, and they were I was in a process of connecting to the ground, to a place, and to nurture a connection to place, and how important that was in this time. So I'm so grateful that I was able to have a place to do that, and now can share it with you. And you can take that experience home with you now, in whatever little way.
So the first time I listened to your album, not knowing it was made in Iceland, so I feel so Icelandish, after I listen, especially after I listened to the song Fast, and knowing your collaboration with Oliver, and it makes more sense now. Knowing that you've been there, and then you recorded and make it the album there. It feels so Icelandish, but in other way, you can also listen it to in Indonesia in some ways.
Benar.
Especially coming from Bali, and it's also represented, if I can say that. So yeah, it's been quite awesome for your album.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I really wanted it to still feel the connection because the Swara Dunia song is a song that I wrote for the
Mm-hmm.
Darah Muda project.
Yeah.
And Swara Dunia never got a chance to be recorded in a studio. A
Oh,
version that we
okay.
released was outside the sawah-sawah and
Mm.
the sun and the rice fields. And actually, when I wrote the song, I always imagined Rara and Daniela's voice to be there.
Okay.
So I was so excited to like take this song and make it a recorded studio version and have them in the song. So their
Okay.
voices are there, Rara and Daniela. Their voices are weaving in Suara Dunia.
Oh, ada ya?
Ada, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're there and part of it. So I wanted to weave in that part of my world as well, you know, because like I said earlier, like how influential that process and project was with them. It's a really important part of this beginning of a new chapter with this new album.
Yeah.
Mm.
So you put it on vinyl, of course.
Yes.
And then it's have a beautiful artwork, beautiful
Thank
songs. And
Yeah.
so what I'm asking you about how important for you to release this on vinyl, because um, I
Yeah.
think vinyl is becoming more we kind of used to buying vinyl right now, as in before CDs and cassettes, and
Mm-mm.
although they might easily use Spotify and everything, but they also buy this. And
Mm-mm.
on a side note, in Miller's Records, it's already sold out.
But it's coming back.
It's coming back. It's coming
Yeah.
back. Don't worry. But the first batch, it's already sold
Yes.
within minutes, I guess. When
Yeah.
you
Terima
post your
kasih terharu.
and I wrote those kind words at your Instagram, so they really support you on releasing this on vinyl.
Yeah, I think that this album was really meant to be heard on vinyl.
Yeah, I agree.
There's something about it, like the way we recorded it.
Mhm.
I really sang like this close to the mic, like so close, and the way the way that it's the voice is mixed into the sound. There's a kind of energy to it that I feel like when you really listen to it on a vinyl, it captures that the best, you know, and it's much better than when we listen to on these digital platforms. There's always something that goes on with the sound there. Of course, it's still okay, but there you can hear the rawness and the intimacy with the vinyl so well.
Yeah.
So we didn't actually make CDs. We just made vinyl for this.
Okay, that's great.
For now.
So I mean, a lot of vinyl addict would say hearing this, it's much warmer than listening to digital.
Yeah.
And then that's why a lot of young generation looking towards listening to their favorite artists on vinyl because of the sound. So do you actually collect vinyls?
I do. Yes, I do now.
Okay.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, probably that's why you own one, so you can
Yes.
you
Harus dong.
harus banget ya. Memang
Iya.
ini
Yeah,
suaranya
aku paham
gitu.
juga sih karena vinyl isn't always the cheapest option. So
I know.
it's not easy in that sense, but you
Yeah.
know it's awet. It's like it's gonna last a really long time because it's such a unique way
Yeah.
of listening to music, and it's gonna be around. You know, it's come back from being from a long time ago, and I really believe that it can continue being really strong.
Yeah, I totally agree on that.
Mhm.
So, can you tell us about the recording process with this?
Yeah, it's produced actually by Oliver Arnolds.
Okay, so the
it was
whole album?
The whole album was produced by him. Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, it was recorded in his studio, and it was amazing as we didn't, we just had all this time and space to do it. So it was a very, very, very intimate recording process. And also really natural. Like there was, the way that a lot of the instrumentation unfolded was just him playing something, me playing something, us having one friend in, trying something. It was really like, mengalir banget prosesnya. It was really part of a flow. And it took some time. It took over, there was I think the most recent song we recorded was like a year after a bunch of the other songs. Actually, we added 2 songs to it. So it just took a really long time because I wanted to get a proper team together for the release. I wanted a label, I wanted a management, I wanted to have a bit more of a community around it in that sense. Jadi yeah, it was just like such a process of growth, really. I grew a lot. I really grew a lot in this recording process. I had so much to learn, and I feel much more, I have a little bit more clarity what it is that I want to do next, and how the process, how I would like the process to be. And I'm so grateful for that. Oliver helped me find that. So I'm really grateful for him.
Jadi teman-teman yang penasaran album ini diproduce sama Oliver, langsung aja nih. Tunggu ya, masih on the way nih.
Ya, masih on the way.
Ya, memang.
Dan juga ada kemungkinan kita akan jual paket ya juga kan?
Oh iya,
paket
benar.
dengan dupa sebenarnya. I made an incense as well with Being, which is a company in Bali, run by a dear friend of mine from school. And we created this scent together. She made this incredible incense. So we have dupa, Sandrayati dupa.
Sandrayati dupa.
I think we will have an option juga kan? We'll have an option to sell with the dupa as well. So you can take the dupa home with you.
Ya, mungkin yang batch pertama yang udah nggak sabar, tapi nanti yang batch kedua yang benar-benar mau something special dari Sandrayati, ditunggu aja nanti di Miller udah ada gitu.
Yes, akan ada dupanya juga.
Akan ada dupa. Mungkin sambil dengerin nyalain dupanya lebih perfect ya.
Harusnya. Ya bisa.
Pairing if you
hear. I always light the incense when I'm performing. Pas lagi so on stage selalu ada dupanya. I love that a lot.
Oke. Nah, Sandra kemarin udah bikin ya semacam live performance di Inggris. Sekarang albumnya udah keluar. Nah, what would be your future project for you? I mean, and your hope for the future.
I think for me, now that the baby is born and the album is out, I really want to explore the themes of this album a little bit deeper.
Yep.
In the short term, karena kan albumnya baru ada sayap, baru bisa terbang sendiri.
Yeah.
Tapi juga masih ada banyak yang belum tahu lagunya.
Yeah, betul.
Time, jadi butuh waktu. And with this time, I want to help the album still kind of find its feet and be a mama, be a mama to it growing up. And I think a part of that is going to be, sharing different aspects of what safe ground is for me. Maybe it's some more musical aspects, some more life kind of aspects. So I'll be exploring that some more this year tentang safe ground, tentang ruang yang aman. Karena aku rasa tema ini beneran tema yang dalam. I feel like it's a theme that is quite deep. And I want to go there. I want to explore it a little bit deeper with you. But first, just, as a connection to the album, it doesn't have to be like part of it necessarily. Tapi, to continue nurturing the album in the world, I will do that this year, and then I'll have a tour end of the year as well through Europe and the UK again, with another friend of mine. So we'll be having more tours this year and just more steps like that. And semoga kolaborasi lagi sama beberapa teman-teman. Semoga kita akan we have something to release next year. So it's about just keeping the momentum going and also developing a community. So I'm really grateful for Miller's Records to be part of this karena it's not always easy to weave in so many faraway places in the world, right? Kita beneran harus menenun dan harus tenun dari jauh. Oke, gimana caranya untuk masih bisa ada koneksi dan hubungan dengan Indonesia with the music too, So shout out to any promoters in Indonesia who can organize a tour. I would love to do a tour back home and organize
mudah-mudahan ada yang nonton video ini immediately you will be contacted and then probably semoga gitu ya. Soalnya kita juga pas di awal kita tahu mau maksudnya ini si Sandrayati mau jual ininya di Miller loh gitu, apalagi dengan koneksi Indonesia dan segala macam ya kita haruslah untuk membantu dan untuk mempromosikan supaya orang-orang banyak yang tahu lah gitu.
Benar.
Untuk rilisan ini kayak gitu. Okay, I think that's all.
Thank you so much. Terima kasih teman-teman.
Mungkin Sandrayati mau ada kata-kata buat fans yang di Indonesia.
Aduh, mungkin kata-kataku cuma terima kasih aja ya. Aku bersyukur masih ada yang ikut dan masih ada yang it's like ini. Aku rasa kita lagi bikin konstelasi bareng ya. Dan teman-teman di Indonesia beneran dari awal mulai dengan saya. Kita mulai bareng. Dan untuk teman-teman yang beneran ada di sini dari dulu, I feel like we're a constellation. Like ada apa namanya? Bintang di dalam hatimu, ada bintang dalam hatiku, dan kita dari jauh masih bisa komunikasi. Itu maksudnya terus seperti konstelasi di langit. We created dan masih hidup walaupun jauh. Jadi terima kasih.
Oke, kalau begitu terima kasih banyak Sandrayati sudah mau berinterview sama Miller's Records, sama saya juga. Terus sukses terus ke depannya, album Safe Ground juga makin banyak yang bisa beli dan ya at least mengerti apa yang Sandrayati ingin sampaikan lah di musik-musiknya dia kayak gitu.
Thank you so much. Terima kasih.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. I hope we'll meet again. So that's it from us. Bye-bye.
Peace. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.